Hello, my name is Gabriel of Urantia. Spirituallution, justice to the people, planetary brothers and sisters. In 1997, I was misrepresented by the 1%'s corporate media, NBC Dateline, because I began to speak out against consumerism and materialism. As a musician, I had already begun to write songs against injustice and the 1%. I wrote Wake Up America and The Great American Dream. I was already getting airplay on university stations. NBC is owned and operated by the 1%'s General Electric. They used a very unethical producer by the name of Joseph Farella and a so-called journalist by the name of John Larson to lie and deceive myself and 100 people from our community. At the same time, in that era, 1997, we were approached by Diane Sawyer of ABC. We were approached by CBS, and they all had elaborate lies talking about why they wanted to interview us. Basically, they wanted to interview us because we were an alternative community and they were interested in our culture. They filmed us for 3 days, come into our properties and private areas, and even sent spies into our homes and community to deceive us. We fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, because they said they wanted to shoot a program on alternative communities and why they are started. They portrayed me and the community as a cult, and myself as a cult leader, and the community is blind followers. In our community, we have a doctor, a psychologist, an attorney, certified teachers, professional people of other areas of life. We have construction workers. These are not people that are blind followers. These are men who were in combat in Vietnam. Blind followers? Give me a break. In that same year, every major 1% corporate newspaper across the country misrepresented me in some way and our community to sell newspapers. This is what the 1% does, the true activists who try to speak out and try to make moral changes in this world and appropriate changes to change the system to the good. They use yellow journalism. They use misrepresentation. They use disinformation. And to this day, we're suffering the consequences. You see, the corporate 1%, they don't want eco-villages to exist. They don't want eco-villages to prosper. You know why? Because the people in it, be it 100, 1,000, or whatever, don't have to be consumers anymore. They don't have to be materialistic. And so they don't buy their products. They don't need to buy their products because people learn to share and give and cooperate. The 1% doesn't like that when Americans share and cooperate. They don't like it in Western civilization. They want to be able to control everybody, particularly in the third world countries. They don't like it when third world countries are tribal and raise the children together and give to each other. They don't like that. For the last 15 years, it's been a nightmare since that showing. Because every person that has a vendetta against the true activist will use that show to say, see, they're a cult. There are so-called cult experts like Stephen Hassan and Rick Ross who make their money on calling as many alternative groups a cult as they can, because they get money from the parents of grown-up children who decide to go into some of these groups to try and change the world, like ours. They go into court and they lie, and they say that their children, their grown children, are brainwashed. When in reality, these so-called cult experts are brainwashing the parents Also, for the last 15 years since that show, I have been blackballed from television, radio, and every good newspaper article out there, because it's much easier to write something negative from the distance and not come here to find out what we really are about and who I really am. Even Link TV and Free Speech TV refuse to have me on their show because I'm too hot for them to handle. So thank God for the internet, because it gives people like myself a voice to try and change this world. But watch out, because the 1% is trying to grab control of the internet to silence voices like mine. The mass killings today is representative of the hopelessness that most people feel, not only in this country, but all over the world, of the control of the 1%. There used to be an outlet for young people to voice their opinions in this world. Now, all those doors are closed. There is no outlet. They used to want to go into social services to make changes, but they have found out, the ones that got into social services, that when they get into social services, they can't really make changes anyway, because everything within the social services is controlled by the 1%. Our television, radio, newspapers, films, you name it, all teach our children to be manipulative and sex symbols. They make movies saying greed is good, the opposite of what the Creator would want us to believe. The worldwide revolutionaries are crying out for true freedom against the 1%. But they cannot defeat the 1% with violence, because the 1% has all the police forces. They have all the military. They have jets. They have helicopters, tanks, tear gas, you name it. They have it. The 1% around the world have their own police forces and military to squash, soon as people begin to speak out, any open rebellion against their power elite. The system is too corrupt today. It's too late. Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, they're all the same. They're for the system. They all sold out. Many organizations today say they are green because they realize that green works to make greenbacks. That's why they're green. Many in the Senate and Congress today are elected by the 1%, not the people. You may think you're voting for the best person, but you've already been brainwashed yourself by the money that they put into their campaigns to deceive you. This is not what our founding fathers meant when they wrote into the Constitution all the beautiful ideas and ideals of what a free country is supposed to be. Of the people, for the people, by the people. Now, it's of the rich, for the rich, and by the rich. That's what it is. Wake up, America. The only way to defeat the worldwide 1% is an international spiritualism. Leave the system that doesn't work. Leave the system that doesn't give you health care. Leave the system that doesn't give you free education. Leave the system where you have to work like a puppet on a job that you hate for the rest of your life. Leave the system, and leave it now. Go on strike. You have to say, no more am I going to make money for the corporations. No more am I going to make money for the 1%. Trust the Creator to lead and guide you. Join with people all over this world, and particularly in your locale, to start communities and subcultures so that you, your children, and grandchildren can live in true freedom. Find out what it's all about. True freedom. Because we haven't had it in America for a long time. The middle class that's still left, the ones that have money in the bank, live in nice homes, pool, all the conveniences of life, they're the apathyites. They should be out there on the streets with their children. But they aren't. 1 in 1,000 maybe? They should be out there picketing too. They should be out there showing their civil disobedience. But they're apathyites. They sit back and watch it on television and say, oh, those kids, they don't know what they're doing. Look at all these wonderful things that I have, that this country has given me. Look, the 1%, they don't care if you have the cars. They don't care if you even have the nice houses. As long as you can't really change anything because you're comfortable in your false luxury, you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem, and you will be held accountable before the Creator one day. We should have learned by now what happens to a nation and the people that learn to trust in false teachings, that learn to trust in corporations, that learn to trust in money, that learn to trust in greed. You haven't learned that it doesn't work? You haven't learned that fame and prestige isn't what it's all about? You haven't learned that? You haven't learned that materialism doesn't work? You go in your homes and you trip over things because you have to have the next thing coming out? Doesn't work. People need to walk away from the false religions, the evolutionary religions that have never worked in this world. We all have to become just ascending sons and daughters of God. We all have to leave the hypocritical religions. Spiritual solution means jumping out of the system of greed and hypocrisy, of greed and materialism. It means having all things in common. It means buying land together, because you might not be able to do it yourself. Forming cooperatives, forming a eco-village that's sustainable, and not buying products within the 1% corporations. Don't support them, they can't exist. Don't support them, and the 1% won't be able to exist anymore. What you need to do is join together and get out of the system. Get on land, buy land. One person might not be able to buy land, but 10 people may be able to. 20, 30. Cooperate. This is the age of the Aquarian energies that we are coming into. The age of cooperation. Don't depend upon the corporate structures to support you. Depend upon each other and divine aid. And you will find out that it works. Because here at Avalon Gardens, we've been doing it for 23 years now in Tumacacri, Arizona. We have been doing it. We have one of the largest eco-villages in the United States. We have people from all over the world that have come to be true change agents to try to make real changes in this world. Not to try to make money. You have to think of your children and your grandchildren. You have to think of their future, not just yourself. Do you want your children growing up in this status quo, materialistic, consumeristic society? I don't think so. Not really. Not deep in your heart of hearts. Universally, people all over this world are crying out to get away from nationalism. They want to become planetary citizens, but the 1% won't let them. They want the poor people fighting with each other all over this planet. That's how they keep control. If we are fighting with each other, they can control us. We can't fight against them. We're too busy fighting each other. Nationalism doesn't work. We have to start thinking of ourselves not as Americans or Europeans or French or whatever, Italians. We have to start thinking ourselves as planetary brothers and sisters. That's it. Planetary brothers and sisters. We will always be divided. We can't continue to think of ourselves as Muslims, any of the isms, Hinduism, Buddhism. We have to get away from those isms. And we need to start thinking of ourselves as only ascending sons and daughters of God. Ascending sons and daughters of God. That's it. If you don't believe that God created us, I don't know what to tell you. Community can begin even within your own cities. You can find large pieces of land within a city to start a community garden. That's where it might begin. You could quit your job, find a better job within that city. But eventually, you're going to have to leave the cities because the whole system's coming down. And people are going to go crazy when they have no food, all those millions of people. You have to be in a safe place somewhere in a rural environment, in the mountains, and wherever you can get with a group of people, wherever you can buy land. You have to do it at some point and soon. But let it begin in your own cities right now. But it has to begin. Don't sit back and wait because it's going to be too late. I wrote a paper about delusion and distortion energies. You can find that paper on my Facebook page, Gabriel Virancher. Please go read it. You will see why these mass killings are happening today. You would be surprised at how many cottage industries can be created within your subculture and eco-village if you just get together and start it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Take it step by step, but take the first steps away from the system. We did it. We have 100 people here from all over the world. They did it. There are other communities all over the world. They did it. You can do it too. There has to be a mass movement away from the 1% owned and operated corporations, systems, educational systems, medical systems, everything. People need to leave it and build new ones. Build a new society and let it start with small subcultures everywhere. What are they going to do? Arrest everybody? What are they going to do? Put 180 million people in jail? What is the 99%? It's everybody else. They're going to put everybody else in jail? They're going to try and control everybody else? Every soldier needs to put their guns down. Every soldier for now needs to become a civilian. Every soldier cannot be controlled by the 1%. Every policeman should not be controlled by the 1%. When the money goes, they will cut you off just like they did in other cities in the United States. They will cut the policemen off. They will cut the firemen off. They will cut them off because you don't matter. The only time you matter is when you can protect them, the 1%. You cannot change the system from within the system. It's too late for that. You have to get out of it. You have to get out of it and let the system come down. I would suggest that you try to find a documentary called I Am, about an American film director who became very successful. So successful, he bought several mansions and lived a good life. You know, had everything he wanted to have. But he found out that he wasn't happy. So he went around the whole world and asked great minds, what's up, man? How can we really make a difference in this world? And then he found out. And then he gave all his things away. His mansions. Now he lives in a trailer. And he rides a bicycle to work. The film is called I Am. Get it, look at it. Learn something. I also suggest that you read my book, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? A handbook on how to defeat the 1%. I left the system 43 years ago and co-founded Avalon Organic Gardens and Eco Village. And now we have 100 people here from all over the world that are change agents trying to serve humanity together. We share. We have everything in common. We are blessed. We are blessed by each other, and the Creator blesses us. Why? Because we try to serve each other. Not the 1%. We have agricultural internships here, and internships on how to build green, how to live green, how to live sustainable. Come here to Tumba Concrete, Arizona, and to our Avalon Eco Village, and find out how to do it. Then go back and do it. Come and learn. You can learn. It's not beyond your ability to learn. We have spiritual schools of higher value here called Global Community Communication Schools of a Citizen Science and the Physics of Rebellion. This would teach you why this world's and the mess that it's in, and how to get out of it. First, within your mind. That's what you have to get out of first. Because every education system that there is now teaches you how to get screwed up in your mind. Again, that's why young people are killing each other. That's why people are going crazy. Because the education system doesn't work. Get out of it. You can simply call 520-603-9932 for more information. Do it. Spirit Solution, justice to the people, planetary brothers and sisters. Energy Master.